Ford 500. This is a 2005. You're gonna find this engine in quite a few years. Get your tire off, just gives you more room. 19 millimeter lug nuts there. Got this little flap here, put on with push pins. Looks like there's a different style here. Some of them have been replaced. That's a Phillips head that you unscrew out. We just need to get the top ones off to get some room. You can take your splash guard off. More push pins. Phillips head. Screws there. I'm going to do it without taking the splash guard off. It's just a little tight. Our tensioner is right there. Yep, that's what we got to take off. So we're going to get that belt off. We're going to change the belt too. And on startup, it squeaks. And then the squeak goes away. Classic case of weak tensioner. Let's get down to it. You're going to need to put a tool right up in that top square hole. And you can do two things. You can have a thin head ratchet like I have there, or you can get yourself one of these tools. It's got a 1/2 inch drive and a 3/8 drive, a little stubby over there. I made this side for a super stub. So you can buy these bars, long or short, at the store. And we're gonna try to plug that guy right up in there. All right, so you can get those thin bars at Harbor Freight or any auto parts stores. But if you got a thin enough ratchet, only one of my 3/8 drive ratchets fit. It'll fit in that hole. It's pretty tight, so I'm gonna put a bar on it and we're gonna go counterclockwise with our ratcheting. So with one hand, I can't film at the same time. With one hand, I'll pull down on this ratchet. You might need a bar on yours if it's tight, and I'll grab the belt and pull it off the pulley. So we got our belt off. All right, we got our belt loose, easy peasy. Now we got our 15 millimeter and thin 3/8 drive ratchet on there. We don't have much room before the ratchet hits the frame here. So we're just gonna crack it free, and then hopefully it comes out by hand after it's cracked free. If not, we'll use a wrench and go turn by turn. Ooh, it feels really loose. Feels really loose. So I think we'll be able to spin this out with our fingers. Yep, the rest of the way. My camera's not focusing deep down in there. It's just focusing close up. There we go. Luckily we didn't have to use the wrench there. It's awesome. And we'll just spin this bolt right out. And now, we've got our new pulley to get out, and these love to seize up in there. I'll show you on the new part. We got these little dowel holes so that you can't put it in wrong at all. And you can see the bolt stays in there. It doesn't come all the way out. It stops right there. Comes with a new bolt. And these like to break off inside sometimes. So I'm going to use a pry bar and see if we can pop that loose. We'll use a pry bar just like this, and hopefully those little dowels don't break off in there. I worked it side to side with the pry bar. You can come up from underneath here or up there. And let's see if we broke those dowels off or if they're still intact. I don't think they broke off. Nope, they didn't break off. We're good. See, that bolt doesn't come all the way out of there. It'll feel like you still need to unthread it more, but you don't. It's way sunken in. So yeah, I took it too far out. All right. And the belt loops around this. So I recommend you put the belt around it when you're installing it. That's going to help us out. Now our belt routing is pretty simple. We go crankshaft to the tensioner we just took out, over to the alternator, way up top, and then back around to the AC here. Let's go grab our new belt and get her routed. All right, well, your new belt's probably gonna be a little twisty like this one. Found the straightest side, and you could just put your arm up there, right up in through there, and get it over that top pulley. And then we're gonna come around the side and put it on that AC. Can't do it with one hand as far as routing all this belt stuff and filming at the same time. We're gonna route around the AC and the crank, and we'll leave that alternator side just where it is. But we got the important thing done, which is wrapping around the top pulley. Let's get this tensioner set up to put in. All right, with your left hand, get your tensioner up in there and get your belt wrapped around your tensioner. You can see it's wrapped around the tensioner pulley here. Boom. Then with your right hand, you come up underneath here and you can start this bolt with your right hand or your left hand. But more importantly, you can get a look up to see where your dowels are so that they fit in. You can see I'm completely flush, and get your bolt just started. Bada boom, our belt is all routed except for around that alternator. You can see by the grooves that the belt is twisted somewhere. There it is. There's a twist right there. We gotta pop that twist out because it's been sitting on a shelf too long. Wrapped up. There we go. We got our twist out. And now we can pull all the way to the alternator, but we can't go around it because we got to decompress that tensioner. So we're going to tighten that bolt up, that 15 millimeter. Oh, our belt's twisted. When I twisted it off the pulley. So we're going to get up in there and fix that. It slid off. It slid from the back right there. All right. So we just got to slide her back on there. You can see from this angle. Here we go. There we go. Now we're nicely straightened all the way around. Let's tighten up that 15 millimeter right there. And then we'll turn counterclockwise with our ratchet with our right hand and loop our belt over the alternator there. It's a tight squeeze right here. So you got to turn your belt sideways just a hair, or you can wrap it around the alternator first and use the crank or the AC for your last pulley that you put your belt around. You can get to the AC easily through this spot. If you don't have any splash guard like this one does, then you can just see it. It's right there. All right. And that's the basics, guys. That's how it's done. All right, that new tensioner was so tight, I put a bar on my ratchet, and it was just too tough to get around that alternator while holding the tension. The tensioner decompressed, so we had that length. A lot easier if you had another person to pull that ratchet down for you. But we got her. Took about 3 minutes. Got her around that pulley. So I used my crank as my last pulley. My last pulley that I was going around. That's what I used because it's right there in front of me. Didn't have a helper. We go over here. We make sure it's in the grooves of the alternator. Then we got to look way up there. Yep, we're looking good right up there. To double check, put your hand up in there and feel it. Yeah, we're good to go. And we're going to put this flat back on. Bada boom. We're going to put our tire back on and get her down. Not too hard of a job. 20 minutes. But with the right tools, it really helps. I understand most of you don't have the right tools. Just laying around a hoist, really helps instead of having to jack it up. But there you go, guys. That's how I do them. Thanks for watching.